What's up, guys? Welcome to the Cashcraft, your daily dose of finance and technology news and updates. Script: an $80,000 inheritance, a layoff, and a choice most people would never make. Bet it all on yourself. That decision happened 4 years ago. Today, the business is closing in on $1 million in revenue. But here's what matters. This isn't a story about getting lucky with family money. It's about what happens when you're forced to choose between safety and belief in what you can build. Steph Mahan got laid off and inherited $80,000 from her uncle in the same window of time. She could have stretched that money for 2, maybe 3 years of runway while job hunting. Instead, she used it to start a real estate firm. No safety net, no backup plan, just capital and a hypothesis that she could make it work. Most inheritance money disappears. Studies show the average inheritance is spent or absorbed into existing expenses within 2 years. It pads retirement accounts, pays down mortgages, funds vacations, nothing wrong with that. But Mahan saw something different. She saw the rarest thing you can have when starting a business: time purchased up front. Here's what that $80,000 actually bought: not office space or fancy equipment. It bought her the ability to say no to desperate job offers. It bought months of focused work without the panic of a draining bank account. It bought the credibility to sign her first clients because she could afford to look like a real business while she figured out how to become one. The real estate industry is brutally competitive. Established firms have decades of relationships, name recognition, and marketing budgets that dwarf what a solo founder can muster. Mahan was entering a market where trust is everything, and she was nobody. But she had one advantage. She could afford to be patient with the right clients instead of grabbing at anything that moved. 4 years later, the firm is approaching $1 million in annual revenue. That's not unicorn territory. It's not going to make headlines in venture capital circles. But here's what it represents: a 12x return on the initial inheritance, a sustainable business that employs people, and complete ownership of something she built from nothing. Now here's the part nobody talks about. That $80,000 inheritance, it wasn't just money, it was permission. Permission to take a risk that would have been irresponsible without it. Permission to spend 6 months building instead of interviewing. Permission to fail without losing her home. The money mattered, but what it purchased was psychological freedom. Most people treat inheritance like found money, a windfall to be protected or enjoyed. Mahan treated it like fuel. She burned through it deliberately, investing in the earliest, riskiest phase of the business when every dollar had to stretch impossibly far. By the time the inheritance was gone, the business was generating enough revenue to sustain itself. The timing was everything. Getting laid off meant she had no golden handcuffs, no comfortable salary, making her risk-averse. The inheritance meant she had capital exactly when she had time. Those two things rarely align. Most people get inheritance money when they're already established in careers, when the risk of starting over feels too high. Mahan got it at the exact moment when she had nothing to lose by trying. Here's the reframe. Inheritance isn't about what you receive. It's about what you're willing to risk with it. Mahan could have played it safe, invested conservatively, made that $80,000 last as long as possible. Instead, she made a bet that her uncle's money could become something bigger than preservation. It could become creation. The question you should be asking yourself isn't whether you have inheritance money. It's whether you'd have the stomach to bet on yourself if you did. Most people say they would. Most people wouldn't. Mahan did, and now she's built something that generates more than 12 times what she started with every single year. Personally, I'm still not sure I'd have the guts to do what she did. Burning through an inheritance to start a business in a crowded market with no guarantee it works? That's a level of conviction most of us never test. But watching someone actually pull it off makes you wonder what you're protecting yourself from by playing it safe. That's all for today, folks. If you found this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe to the Cashcraft for more finance and tech news. Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and I will see you in the next one.